to think that we were all just celebrating life 24 hours prior to the worst thing that could happen.
This is now a confirmed tornado.
The high school graduation, that is pretty much in the path of this storm.
That Sunday, the weather was beautiful.
After graduation, there's a big party that's thrown.
My dad texted me and said there's a tornado. 2 minutes later, it gets dark within like seconds.
I'll never forget the noise that made it. It was like so loud.
It was a monster, and it was catching up to us.
Where do we go? Oh my God. Come on, come on!
The tornado was like right there, pretty much about to touch us.
I looked up, and I saw clear blue sky. We were in the eye, totally surrounded by chaos.
I could feel my body lift off the ground.
I don't know how long I can hang on for.
I accepted my fate. I was flying inside the tornado.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop, or our movie review day today. So if you guys didn't catch it from the trailer, we are talking about The Twister. This is the a documentary that Netflix did about the Joplin tornado back in, when was that, 2011? Or
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to double check to know for sure, but yeah, it was around like 2010, 2000.
when we were in college time is what I remember. But yeah, no, so the documentary is actually really good. Actually, the trailer's very misleading, too. You know, it's like, it showed that clip from, like, there was a party, and it's like, there was no party. Like, that was footage from, like, that famous YouTuber that got killed, and that was, like, a party that happened long before the tornado happened, so, but yeah, no, I mean, so, it's a good documentary.
Yes, if they're saying it, there's a party, it just them like, oh, we graduated, yay!
Yeah, because like I mean, like that was the thing. Like graduation happened, and then like after they all graduated, they're like, you need to leave and go to your homes right now. So like everybody's leaving the graduation, and they go straight home. You know, so that's what the kid, like one of the kids was like, and I cut across the grass because I was trying to get home so fast. You know, it's like I didn't wait in the long line getting out of the parking lot of the graduation ceremony to go. I just took off through I cut through the grass. And, yeah, no, but that whole Joplin tornado, I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, we had people who are insureds come in and, like, you know, they went to go help with aid and relief, and they came back showing us videos they had on their cell phones and stuff. And, man, this is some emotional stuff. It was a well put together documentary, but of course, you know, it being Netflix, they have to slip in the message, you know, and the message being there has to be some type of LGBTQ message, like pro-LGBTQ message, and something about how this is all the fault of climate change, you know, and it's absolutely ridiculous that they sneak this stuff in, you know, where it's just like, this is the fault of, yeah, you had I mean, this guy, like this little gay guy you see in the picture, like he is, he's a hero. You know, like, I'm not taking away anything the dude did. The guy was smart. He told, like, there was a family trying to leave this yogurt shop he was working at. He was like, no, you take your family and get in the bathroom, and I'll take the other two employees, and we're up against the wall. You guys are the only people that are in an interior room going into the restroom. So, I mean, he's a hero for doing that. He saved wife and kids. He put himself and these other two people in harm's way, getting in basically a supply closet that was up against an outer wall. So, but, you know, and at the end of the movie, they go, you know, it's like, what did you take away from this? Well, instead of choosing Christianity and faith, I chose me. It's like, okay, well, Satan chose himself too. That's why he's out of God's grace, you know. It's like they got to weasel and ham-fist that message in right at the end where, you know, there are way more important things happening. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, like, because I actually turned it off whenever I saw it because that was the end. It's like, so this is the end message, you know. It's like the end message is, you know, it's like God didn't save me. I saved myself, and then I chose, you know, LGBTQ rights, and basically the moral of the story is LGBTQ rights, you know, it's like, what the heck are we talking about here, man? Mm-hmm. But, no, but I mean, again, again, it's not a bad documentary. This guy's not a bad person. You know, it's like what I'm trying to say is that this message, what he like his takeaway or what they had him say at the end made no sense. It didn't have anything. It wasn't relevant to the documentary at all. It's like, what do you do now? I live in Joplin still, and I have an LGBTQ rights group, and it's just like, wow, you know, so relevant, you know. But and then the end of it, the very end, you know, it's like they like, I was shocked they didn't say anything about climate change up until that point. And then at the very end, like they had to do it. They put a little man-made climate change is causing tornadoes and traumatic weather events to get worse. And you're just like, oh my gosh. And this isn't even the only one that did that. You know, like we were watching that other one. Was the other one Geostorm or something like that?
Yeah, Geostorm.
And Geostorm ham-fisted that message in there, and they even had the people who were storm chasers and whatnot that they interviewed ham-fist that message in there too. And there's so many other explanations besides climate change. You know, it's like, I was watching a thing about tornadoes, and it's like they're talking about a tornado that was in Iowa, and they talked about how basically, if you want to talk about like, you know, it's like the government's controlling the weather. You know what causes some of the tornadoes to get stronger and more powerful? Cornfields, because tornadoes get strength from moisture. Obviously, the white atmospheric conditions, but like I said, the moisture in cornfields, which are subsidized by the government, causes tornadoes to get stronger because the corn retains a lot of moisture. So if a tornado goes through a cornfield, expect it to get worse, not better. So again, it's like man-made climate change. You mean government-made climate change? Because the government subsidizes cornfields? That's what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I will say this. The documentary is actually really good. It's an entertaining documentary. You know, it talks about the one guy. They interview the guy that got sucked out of a car and like his
the
rib
miracle
cage.
child.
Yeah, the miracle child.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing stuff. They talk about, again, they talk about that famous YouTuber kid that died in 2011. I mean, the kid had a full ride to UCLA, was going to become a
filmmaker.
You know, it's like I can identify with the kid. It's like, yeah, that's what I went to school for, doing film. And, you know, they found his body in a pond or something like weeks later.
Yep, and I did pull up the Geostorm. It's Earthstorm. Sorry,
Earthstorm, yeah.
Earthstorm. But yeah, the first episode is tornadoes, and it's about, of course, the biggest tornado
Yeah,
ever
the El
recorded.
Reno tornado.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the famous El Reno tornado, where the famous Team Twist or whatever, like one of the famous
the
storm
only
chaser
time
team.
storm chaser teams had ever been killed. in a
Yeah, the
tornado.
first time a professional tornado team had been killed, because the El Reno tornado was even worse than the Joplin tornado. It didn't go through a densely populated area, thank God.
Yeah.
But it was out in the woods. But like I said, the tornado grew from like nothing and then ballooned up to 2 miles wide in like no time, and it killed all those. It killed that team because they were nobody had seen a tornado
expand
2 miles
that
wide.
to grow that big before. But yeah, that's part of the reason why we chose to do this, because like we are rolling into tornado season right now.
Yeah.
And just it seemed appropriate. And just talking about how we're kind of spinning off what we talked about yesterday with the whole like liberal agenda, how liberals are always like tied with media.
Mm-mm.
And like I said, as we'll point out here, as we're showing, like there's always a liberal spin to this, especially when it comes to these weather ones. Like it's climate change.
Yes, it's climate change, and then again, climate change, and then like I said, hand-fisted LGBTQ stuff. Like you're just like, what does this have to do with anything? Like I'm glad the gay guy moved on. Like don't get me wrong, it's like, dude, I'm not taking anything away from the guy. Hero. You saved a family. You forced them into the bathroom and told them not to leave. It's like, no, the tornado's right outside. You're not leaving. Get in the bathroom, and I'll take these other guys. Like, good job. You're a hero, dude. But again, it's just like the Netflix has to be like, and, you know, instead of choosing, you know, I used to be a big-time Christian and follower of Jesus, and now I'm enlightened and I chose me instead of choosing some dogmatic religion, you know. And he might not even believe it. They could have edited that out of context, a lot like the way it was in the trailer, you know. So he could still be a devout follower of Christ. But again, you know, it's like if you're LGBTQ
and you're
living
you're promoting that lifestyle.
Yeah, you're living in opposition to God's will. Mm-hmm. But again, the documentary, fantastic. Every single Netflix documentary I've watched is really well done. It's shot tremendously. But again, these ham-fisted messages, you know, and it comes to another point we were making about this documentary. So I say, thumbs up on the documentary. The first episode of the Earthstorm, good. Like the tornado one is good. The rest of them are kind of, you know, not great. But definitely recommend watching these Netflix documentaries. But there's a big reason that they are, they are the way they are, and it comes down to who has a big stake and ownership in there.
Yep, which I'll pull up right now. Uh-oh. There it goes. Okay. From Variety, back in 2018, Barack and Michelle Obama signed Netflix production deal. Netflix has secured a deal with former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama to produce a series of movies for the streaming service. The former first couple will, according to an announcement Monday from the company, potentially work on scripted and unscripted series as well as docu-series, documentary films, and feature films under your multi-year deal. One of the simplest joys in our life is public service was getting to meet so many fascinating people from all walks of life, and to help them share their experience with a wider audience, said Barack Obama. That's why Michelle and I are so excited to partner with Netflix. We hope to cultivate and curate the talented, inspiring, creative voices who are able to promote greater empathy and understanding between peoples and help them share their stories with the entire world. Barack and I have always believed in the power of storytelling to inspire us and make us think differently about the world around us and help us open our minds and hearts in others, said Michelle Obama. Netflix's unparalleled service is a natural fit for the kinds of stories we want to share, and we are looking forward to starting this exciting new partnership. The signing, the Obamas had the latest and by far the biggest in a string of movies by Netflix to lock up the entertainment industry's highest profile producers in exclusive productions and development packs. Last year, Netflix's approached Grey's Anatomy creator Sonda Rhimes from ABC Studios to deal with a value more than $100 million. Glee creator Ryan Murphy jumped for his longtime home at 20th Century Fox Television earlier this year to join Netflix. Murphy's deal was reported at the same time to be worth about $300 million. Jeez. However, the source tells Variety that the tally includes money that Murphy is expected to make from his current and former Fox series over his life in the Netflix contract. And the true value of this deal is in line with that of Rhimes as well. So they're also getting paid, which I think is better, how your performance is, how your movies or videos perform in Netflix.
Yeah.
Which I think is a better way, because if you're just paying somebody just money, they can make something that's absolutely garbage.
Yeah, Amazon is suffering from those consequences right now. Like Amazon is firing creative director, like the person that ruined the Lord of the Rings stuff, like the Rings of Power crap, like that performed terribly, and they finally fired her. They're like, "You're done. Like you lost us billions."
Yep. It is unknown how much the Obama's Netflix agreement, which will be seen produced through their newly formed company Higher Ground Productions, is worth. In March, Penguin Random House signed a couple of joint book deals that pays them a reported $65 million to their respective memoirs. Barack and Michelle Obama are among the world's most respected and highly recognized public figures and are uniquely positioned to discover and highlight stories of people who make a difference in their communities and strive for change in the world that's far better, said Netflix chief content creator Ted Sarandos. We are incredibly proud that they have chosen to make Netflix their home for the formidable storytelling abilities.
Yeah, right. It's just because you guys gave them huge residuals or they have part ownership in the company.
Exactly. Among the Obama's most visual and public appearances since leaving office was David Letterman's new Netflix series, My Guests Need No Introduction. Obama was the first guest in the former Late Show host long-form interview program. The world of possible pact between the former U.S. president and First Lady surfaced in March when the New York Times first reported the couple was in talks with the streaming service on a deal to produce several high-profile projects. Sondaros has a close relationship with the Obamas. His wife, Nicole Advent, served as a U.S. ambassador in the Bahamas to the press. See, so this is what we're talking about. This is how we're talking about people who are closely tied between media and the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
There's corruption there.
Yeah.
And that's it. But yeah, just like, the Obama's first term in office. So, yeah. So these people are highly involved. Why are Democrats always in line to either be, like, members of, like, news media or
Movies?
Hollywood production companies?
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't his daughters like Harvey Weinstein's like
Remember,
interns for a
they
bit?
were his interns or assistants or something like that for a little while. They were something pretty big. But yeah, again, this is the pervasive relationship, and again, it's why Barack Obama just appears in every single documentary that they put out. Like, of course, it's like instead of focusing on the people that matter, like the end of the documentary is Obama, and like the ending of it is Obama giving a speech to the graduating the following year's graduating class after Joplin. So the kids that were juniors whenever the tornado hit were graduating the next year in a different high school. They have Obama giving a speech, and of course the gay guy and all those people go, oh, the president came in, and gave a speech. Like, how cool is that? It's just like, dude, come on.
Which that is fine. I agree. That's a great thing for the president to do. But
it's
just
all
remember,
PR though.
Exactly, it's all PR. But he goes there, makes a speech, and everyone gushed over it. If Trump goes and does something like that, look at him just trying to
take away from the situation.
Exactly. He's just trying to save face or look.
Yeah,
look good
he's
for
trying
the
to make it
cameras.
about him instead of making about what it is. And again, Barack Obama and the Democrats did not hold they did not hold Barack Obama up to any standards. Like they were just like this is going to be PR, this is going to be masterful PR. And that's what it was. I mean, and again, it's just, I'm at the point where it's like, go away, Barack Obama. People, we don't want to see you anymore. And the fact that he just appears in every single documentary giving some irrelevant take on something. But I mean, again, when you own stake in the company, like they're like Netflix, the guys and the producers at Netflix go, oh, everyone loves Barack Obama and put him in everything, It's just like it'll spike our viewership. And every time I see it, I'm just rolling my eyes going, why is he in here? And again, the most important one we watched, that he appeared in randomly was The Last Dance,
which I have pulled up right here.
Yeah, The Last Dance, the run of the Bulls, Michael Jordan's run with the Bulls to get the championship.
We'll play the full trailer, but then I'll show you. Like I said, he's in it. He's in this trailer, and he has basically nothing to do with this documentary.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Michael Jordan and the Bulls changed the culture.
Just stop it right there for just a second. Look, there he is. There he is.
They started a documentary about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls with commentary from Barack Obama.
Just because
Barack Obama lived
in Chicago.
I lived in Chicago. I was there at the time. I understand the cultural relevance of the Bulls. It's like, don't you think it'd be more impactful if we heard it from like MJ or maybe a reporter who was there and like was a team affiliate, or hell, even any of his teammates? Like, again, Barack Obama is not heavily featured in the documentary. It's like this, but again, this is a trailer for the documentary. And what's the I'm sitting there like, is this a documentary about Barack Obama interviewing the Chicago Bulls dream team, or is this again? This just goes to show you that they will just shove irrelevant stuff into documentaries because Barack Obama's famous.
Yeah, well, getting into this, if you can see the thumbnail, I have Bill Clinton there too. Bill Clinton is in this one too. He's not shown nearly as much as Obama. Obama appears I think at least 3 or 4 times. I think he appears at least a couple of times in each episode. And then Bill Clinton appears in the Scottie Pippen heavy one because he's from Arkansas.
Yeah,
and Scottie Pippen is from Arkansas.
Yeah. So again, it's just you want to tell me that there's no bias, there's no cultural ties between Hollywood and the Democratic Party without telling me there's no tie. I mean, you're lying to me. It's like Bill Clinton's like, do you think George W. Bush is going to be in any of these documentaries unless it's one mocking George W. Bush? I mean, again, the only time that I watched the one documentary, there's the documentary about what's his name. It was like a famous baseball player, like one of the best pitchers ever he ended his career with the Rangers, an old guy. And he basically owns a ranch farm in Texas. But it said George W. Bush came and worked out with him one time. And he was like, that was no joke. He's got a good workout regimen, or whatever. And you're just like, wow, irrelevant.
Granted, he could have been a draft dodger for Vietnam or whatever, but he was still in the service.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the thing, though. It's like they're going to ham-fist irrelevant stuff from irrelevant politicians now into documentaries. Like, look, Barack Obama. Everybody's gonna love this now. It's like, I don't care about Barack Obama's commentary about the Chicago Bulls. I don't care about his commentary about climate change or the weather. Man, he's done. He's gone. But they're again. This is why I tell you, Barack Obama is the left's messiah. He is their Jesus figure.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is what we just talked about. Is he's getting paid millions of dollars to make a short little cameo inside of that documentary. And that's one of the Netflix documentaries right there, you know? I mean, granted, it was kind of done with ESPN too, but, you know, it's just like, what's going on here? Why is he in this? It's irrelevant to the conversation other than like, I lived in Chicago.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, again, the Hollywood ties to the Democratic Party are just so obvious and in our face now. I mean, they always were, but at least they pretended like it wasn't. Oh, no, we're partisan. It's just smart Hollywood people who, you know, identify with the Democratic Party. And you're like, okay. I mean, I guess. But again, now it's just so obvious and in your face. So again, it's just, I don't even know what to think anymore, man. It's just ridiculous. But all these documentaries that they produce are very, very good. But, I mean, this is why you have to be aware of these. I mean, again, imagine being a kid watching this, having no understanding of climate change, having no understanding of culture, but you go, oh, Barack Obama's in this, so they treat him like he's cool, and they want his opinion, so he must have a trustworthy opinion. That's what it is. That's the subtle indoctrination of kids. Again, it's like me watching Jon Stewart as a kid. It's like, I thought I was part of the joke. I was part of the in crowd because I liked watching Jon Stewart. And then slowly over time, I started to realize Jon Stewart's a partisan hack. He's not giving politicians. Because, I mean, the first time I realized I was sitting there, I was like, because he was making fun of a senator from Oklahoma. And I was like, you know, it's like, I know people, because I had known people who knew the senator that liked him from Oklahoma. And I was like, well, I know people that like this senator, and he's calling him the international. It was the segment that Jon Stewart called This Week's International Asshole of Mystery. And it was one of our senators from Oklahoma. And I was like, I know. I mean, I've never met him personally, but I know people who have met him personally. And this is as a kid. And I go, and people like him. You know, and these are people that, you know, whose character, I know them as, know them in person. Like, I know them. They go, they like this guy as a person, and they know him as a person. And he's making fun of him, and I'm just like, this is the first time I don't feel like I'm in the in crowd, because his crowd's laughing at this guy that, you know, it's like, I might not know, but I know indirectly, and I know people that know him and like him.
Well, it comes back to that old saying, is like, you need to have a beer with your, you know, with your opponent. Like, it's like what Christopher Hitchens did, like, back in the day. Like, Dinesh D'Souza talked about, like, after he'd get to a debate with Christopher Hitchens about religion or whatever the heck they were talking about, they would go and have dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
And they were friendly with each other. It's like, that doesn't happen anymore. Now, if they were seen, if any of these people now, like,
are seen together in public, it's like, what's happening here? Like, your career's over. You're just saying this stuff not because you believe it. Like, because if you believed what you said, you wouldn't be friendly with your opponent. That's where we're at now. That's how bad debates have gotten. It used to be you could have heated debates with people and then get a beer and pizza afterwards.
Yeah.
It's not that anymore. It's like, if you're seen, like, I mean, like, you, like, they want people to be like fighting, you know, whether or not that's due to modern politics or, I mean, again, the modern left-wing policy. I mean, when you have people like they were showing on the Daily Show now, like they were talking about how they were firebombing cars, right?
They're cheering.
And they were cheering. The audience was cheering the firebombing of Teslas. And, like, even the host was like, oh, I didn't know that we were cheering domestic terrorists, but okay, if that's where we're at now.
Yeah. But I have these memes pulled up that are partially relevant to talking about the left-wing strange, you know, attachment to media and other strange places. But look here. Yesterday, The Atlantic put out an article claiming that child trafficking was a fake epidemic. And here's a photo of The Atlantic, Lawrence Powell, getting cozy with Ghislaine Maxwell. And there's the article right there from The Atlantic. The great fake child sex trafficking epidemic.
Ah, funny. The lady that runs that media organization sending out, no, this isn't happening, but hanging out with the people who were making it happen.
Mm-hmm. Then, of course, this next one here is one that I found yesterday after we had already done our show. It says, Washington, D.C., all 87 editors at NPR are registered Democrats, but the TV told me they're all nonpartisan. And it's Milhouse from fucking Simpsons picking his nose.
No kidding. Yeah, but I mean, that's the truth. Like, we're only hiring people on the left who believe a certain way, and they don't have scruples. Or at least we don't trust that they have scruples, because if they were, they wouldn't be Trump's the devil, Trump's Satan every single time an article is produced about him. Again, tell me, you wonder why we live, like, again, it's like when we were arguing with those guys on Facebook, it's like going, the left has had control of the media. He goes, well, Elon Musk owns Twitter now, so that's not true anymore. It's like, are you living, like, we don't live in just this present moment today. Like, yes, Twitter has a lot of power now because we're able to call out people instantly. Mm-hmm. And, now we can do community note people. We can community note the news.
The news fact checkers are getting community noted on Twitter now, which is amazing. I mean, it's the fact like, this article is lying straight up.
But again, it's like we didn't just evolve. We just like Twitter didn't just turn right wing overnight. Elon Musk had to buy it, and it's still slowly getting better and better. But I mean, they would have you believe that now that they're not in control of the levers of power, now they're at a disadvantage. When the entirety of human existence, as long as the media has been around, it's been left-wing bias forever.
Yeah. And then here, I just had to pull this one up because I thought it was hilarious. But NPR, defund NPR from Libs of TikTok, which I love this. It says, NPR, some white people choose the yellow thumbs up because it feels neutral. But some academics argue that opting out of the white thumbs up signal is a lack of awareness about white privilege, akin to societies associating whiteness with being raceless. So you're damned if you do. This is one of those articles. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And if you abide by their rules, you're still racist. If you don't abide by your rules, you're still a racist.
Yeah, you can't win. Like, I mean, they'll be able to deconstruct it however they want. Like, if you go looking for racism, you're going to find racism wherever you want. And it could be in the most subtle, minute, or things that aren't even considered racist. You'll be able to be like, no, I'll deconstruct that and make it racist.
Mm-hmm. Which brings up to this is like how the Netflix, kind of like what we were talking about with that Netflix documentary, like having that gay kid in there. And then how's he end it? He goes, I started an LGBTQ activist group in, town. Just like.
And now the healing can begin.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous, but that's the slow, subtle indoctrination. Like, it's a movie, it's a documentary about a tornado. And how does he end it? He goes, this is what I'm doing. It's cool to see what the people who are alive. I mean, the guy that is a miracle child has a family after pretty much having like half of his like torso removed.
Yeah.
Is amazing. But, you hear about stuff like that. That's the subtle indoctrination. It's like of all the people they interviewed, they get the one guy that makes sure that he's an activist for something.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, why find the activist? Again, I think that guy is a hero for saving that family and letting them leave the restaurant and keeping them safe. At the same time, it's like, what does LGBTQ? But again, they make it, and this is what's the problem I have. The problem I have with the LGBTQ. Everything that they do, they make about them. It's like, no, you were a hero, not because you saved yourself, but because you saved that family and the other two, not employees, patrons of the restaurant. You saved them. That's why you're a hero, because you were selfless in that moment. And at the end, they make it about them and go, I struggled with my relationship with God because, I'm gay and, I didn't think I was going to, he was like, I thought I was getting raptured when the tornado came and I wasn't going to go to heaven because I'm gay. And then it's like, so now I don't care about that religious nonsense. Now I'm out of the closet and I'm not oppressed anymore because Christianity is this evil, oppressive religion. And now I choose me. And again, it's like what I tell you. Satan chose himself too, man. So that's where you're at with this, man. Like you're choosing yourself. You're choosing your selfish sin over overcoming. And again, in the moment when there was an emergency, you chose selflessness. You put yourself in harm's way, and thank God you did that. That's why you're a hero. You're not a hero and you're not brave because you're LGBTQ and you chose yourself. Yeah. You're a hero because you saved a family and selflessly put yourself in harm's way.
But again, this is what we're talking about here with this slippery slope meme right here. Is like, it turned into like everything that Christian conservatives like feared happening with, making gay rights a thing or making gay marriage a thing has happened. Like I said, let's get married. Okay. Bake our cake. Remember, they sued. They went all the way to the Supreme Court. They sued that Colorado bakery for not baking a cake for them. He's like, you can buy any cake here, but I'm not making you a custom cake.
Yeah. You can buy a cake off the shelves, but I'm not making you a gay, Jeff and Tim.
And then you have to remember, they were so vindictive that they took them to court again, even after the Supreme Court ruled it no.
Yeah. They sued him under different context and different pretext again, but they went back and did the same thing. I mean, that's how evil and self-centered these people are.
And then it goes down to use our pronouns, which again, that wasn't even a thing 5-10 years ago now.
No, yeah, I mean, and Jordan Peterson, the use our pronouns is the whole reason Jordan Peterson
rose to fame.
Because he stood up against the Canadian government and said, "No, I'm not going to be compelled to use somebody's pronouns. Or at least I'll use their pronouns interpersonally, but the government will not compel me to do it."
Yeah. The next one, allow minors to dance for us in drag, or us to dance in front of minors in drag. Which, that's a thing now. Drag queen story hours, drag queen, strip dances, teases, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we have let teachers choose your kid's gender. And like this is actually happening. Remember, like in California, it is legal for them to like take your child from you.
Yeah,
and transition them because you are not affirming them.
Again, remember, we've showed you books titled "Don't Tell Mom and Dad." LGBTQ books. Don't tell mom and dad, little kid. It'll be our secret.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't tell me that that's not indoctrinating and evil.
Mm-hmm. In which the last one we have here is normalizing pedophilia, which is where this is truly leading to, which is a scary thought.
Yeah, I mean, even with it doesn't. You don't even have to be LGBTQ. I mean, how many problems arose with our older brother with misunderstandings between parents and teachers? I mean, like again, you have a hormonal teenager who wants to, get his rocks off, and mom and dad going, "We're trying to stop that behavior," and then teachers getting a one-sided story from a hormonal teenager, and then them being, your parents seem like you're wrong. They're trying to kick you out of the house because you don't want to listen to their rules and follow their rules. That they must be very impatient. Again, regular teachers can be told one-sided stories from, angry hormonal teenagers, and then all of a sudden things get blown out of proportion real quick. I mean, it can be done with anybody. Not just LGBTQ. But again, it's just the precedent that has been set on this is really scary. Again, that slippery slope mean is just absolutely perfect for what we are experiencing and seeing today.
I mean, remember, I'm pulling this up real quick too because it's just so relevant. But remember these pedophiles right here, the dads that were selling their kids, the two gay dads that were selling their kids into
pimping them out,
and then they were making adult videos for them with their children.
But they marketed themselves in public and on TikTok and Instagram as your stereotypical gay traditional family. Like, we're just like you. No, you're not, because normal parents and good Christian family households do not pimp out their kids to other gay couples to fornicate with, man. I mean, you guys are evil. And like, oh, we're just, again, don't give me this crap. We're just the same. Again, and we're not, and we never will be. It's like any gay couple that does a rent-a-womb thing. Again, you're paying a prostitute to not get effed for 9 months. That's evil, man. This whole surrogate industry. It's like surrogates for normal couples, I get. Surrogates for gay couples, no. And again, but this is what happens when you monetize. This is the problem this is why unfettered capitalism can't really be a thing, because again, it leads to stuff like this. Rent-a-womb. It's like you're paying prostitutes to not get laid for 9 months, and they hold gay men's babies in their bellies until they're born, and then they go, "Bye, kid. I'll never see you again." It's just so. It goes against nature so badly. It goes against God's plan so badly.
Well, the last thing that I pulled up here is this, and this is scary. The data shows that trans people are more likely to commit sexual violence than any other group, and this is not even close. And that's the problem with what we have here. Like, trans people are clearly got something going on up here. And as you can see, percentage of women offenders, it says 183 out of, what does it say, like 30 million or something like that? Women, I can't remember. It says 3 per million. So 3 per million. And then
There's not even that many trans.
Yeah. And then it's men, it's 395 per million.
Oh my gosh.
And then it says trans. It's hard to tell. I can't tell if it looks like it's 1,916 per million. And yes, they don't even make up that much of the
Yeah,
population.
they're
They're less than
0.03 of the population, guys. That's an astronaut. That is a disgustingly disproportionate portion of trans people. And again, I know this is weird that we're talking about a tornado documentary and a Michael Jordan documentary, but again, when you end it with these retarded, ham-fisted pro-LGBTQ messages, this is the kind of stuff you're promoting. This is what happens. Yes.
Slippery slope. That's what we're talking about right now. Slippery slope fallacy, and that's it.
Yeah.
That is it. It's like this was not something that you would promote to your children back in the day. This is if my folks saw something like that on TV, like this weird trans stuff, they'd be turning off Disney Plus for forever. We would never be watching Disney ever again.
Yeah, or they'd monitor the shows we were allowed to watch on Disney Plus.
Like I said, that's the problem. These trans groups are standing on tops, and like these Democrats are standing on the tops of people's namesakes. Like they were standing on top of Netflix's and Disney's and all these people's namesakes. They're shoulders of the giants that made these great companies, and then they're like, now we're going to do what we want to do instead of what
Disney wasn't inclusive enough. There weren't enough gay characters in their movies. It's like, okay. And then they just start ham-fisting this message going, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be gay. And then it turns into accept pedophilia. We're just minor attracted persons. Remember, we're just maps. So again, this is why the problem I have. Like, I mean, they can make fantastic documentaries. They can make and they do. Like, I immensely enjoy all the documentaries I've watched on Netflix. And then they throw it. But, I mean, thank God. It's like, I mean, I'll say this. The messaging isn't even subtle anymore. It's in your face. Like, again, totally irrelevant to talk to this gay dude and be like, how are you doing now? It's like, I run an LGBTQ group, activisty group. It's like, why did that have to be thrown in there? It's like, I'm doing well. My mom's still alive. My family's still alive. We're all very happy now. Like, they didn't have to say, it's like, I turned my back on the Lord. I don't believe that silly nonsense now. And again, I could be overstating. Again, he didn't say anything pro-God after the tornado. He was just like, I thought I didn't get raptured, Mm-hmm. And then he didn't say anything like pro. It's like, I'm not, it's like, I chose me. And when you say you choose me, it's like, I choose me. It's like, that means you're choosing not to follow God then, So again, it's an anti-Christian, pro-LGBTQ, pro-climate change agenda that's just ham-fisted in there now. Again, in the climate change one was so ham-fisted, they just used it as a black title card at the very end. Just a boop. Man-made climate change is causing these storms to get worse. It's like, and again, it's like what Ben Shapiro and all these guys say. Is it possible that inflation's caused everything to get more expensive, so the storms are getting more expensive out of inflation, and now that there are more people than there were like 10 years ago, that obviously more people die. When there are more people around, more people die. But even that's not even true because the building structures and codes have gotten so much better that buildings resist storms a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and here's the other thing too is like, I said, where was the big part at the very end of it? It was like, thanks to petroleum and natural gas, they were able to rebuild Joplin.
Yeah.
That would be the conservative
The logistical miracle brought to you by natural gas and petroleum in petroleum products. Rebuilt Joplin in the amount of time.
Tractors and other building materials that run and are built on those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So seriously, it's absolutely crazy. And again, that whole thing I told you about the tornadoes getting stronger in cornfields, that's true. You can look that up. Cornfields cause tornadoes to get stronger. And again, if you want to talk about man-made climate change, that's man-made climate change. Government subsidized corn is making tornadoes stronger.
Mm-hmm. True.
Thanks, government.
But how I've got to end this show out is the butterfly people about in the Joplin tornado.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So were you want to watch that before? Is that
no?
How
that's how I was going to end the show.
Oh, okay,
that was so fascinating. And like I said, since we're supposed to be more topic of Joplin tornado, I thought it was more relevant.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, all right. But yeah, so again, I do recommend watching these documentaries. I mean, The Last Dance is a very good documentary. It bothers me that Barack Obama is in everything. It's like, again, they are trying to, since like the Democrats have lost the message. They need to stop with this Barack Obama worship and find a candidate that they can actually run. Yep. But here they are. Just remember when Barack Obama was president, and everything was perfect and nothing bad ever happened. That's seriously what's still going on. Again, he is the left's messiah.
Yeah.
And but again, I'm sick of him being in all these documentaries. I'm sick of the ham-fisted messages they keep shoving in these documentaries. You know, it's like I just sit there and it just makes me roll my eyes. But again, if you're children and kids who don't understand anything about culture or life, they're just gonna be like, Barack Obama's on TV. He must be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Climate change is making tornadoes stronger. Oh my goodness! We got to do something quick. I mean, this just adds to the continued alarmism of left-wing politics. I mean, imagine again. Somebody who watches this documentary doesn't know much about tornadoes, doesn't know much about the world, and they go, yeah, climate change is a big problem. They've indoctrinated an entire generation of people. Like AOC and me are like close to the same age. She is totally indoctrinated and believes that the world's
actually older than us.
Oh, she is older than us. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like 35.
She totally buys into the fact that climate change is going to end the world. I mean, remember she said that before she got elected. 12 years, the world's going to end. Where I think we're almost there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess her Green New Deal not passing somehow and still ended up saving the world, right? Like, I mean, we're not going to be done in 2 years, right? Because she's been in like 8 or 10 years, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So anyway, I know we rambled a lot today and went all over the place, but again,
it's just going to show that all this stuff is kind of tied together.
Yes, everything is absolutely 100% connected, and you know, you can draw lines to everything, especially again, it's like what Andrew Breitbart said. Politics is downstream from culture.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what cultures, and again, if your kids watch this stuff and you wonder, it's like, Mom, Dad, is climate change going to kill us all? And you just sit there, where are you hearing this stuff from? It's like, I watched a Netflix documentary. Like, you know, again, be a part of your kid's life, be aware of what they're consuming, and, you know, find alternative sources of media, or if you're not going to find alternative sources of media, have conversations with your kids so they understand what it is and they don't turn into crazy morons like AOC when they get older.
Yeah.
So that's really about all I've got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop and our morning movie review. And I do give a thumbs up to the Netflix documentaries. Again, The Last Dance and the Twister. Very good, very well shot, very well put together. The interviews are neat, and all the people are they're just down to earth. Like, they're people that you would have gone to school with. They're people you know. Like, when you watch these documentaries, you might, I know somebody exactly like this guy. I know storm chasers and adventure photographers, like some of these people that got caught up in this thing. Mm-hmm. I knew that kid that got the Miracle Boy. Like, I knew guys just like that in high school. Like, I know those guys that skipped out and went skateboarding. You know, it's like I know those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good, well done documentary. I give it a thumbs up. Watch, but again, those retarded, ham-fisted, left-leaning messages that are not even subtle anymore. You just have to roll your eyes at and be aware of, especially if your kids are consuming this crap. So that's about all we got for you today. This is the Twins with Owasso Live. We are signing off. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.